Hey everyone, this is Brad Minton with Meant to Be Career. I hope all of you are doing really well wherever you're at. One of the most common issues and common challenges that I have being a career counselor and working with young professionals who are just entering into the job market is that I think they understand on some level that networking, as it's often referred to, is part of the job search process. It's one of those things that they know that they have to do. But there is a real struggle, there's a real disconnect with making it effective while simultaneously being authentic. So I really hope this video will help serve a purpose for you and really make it seem like it's something that you actually can do and can do effectively. And I want to give you a framework with which to work. But before I do that, I wanted to just emphasize that at the end of the day, networking is just making friends. And if you can really think about that, it will take a lot of the pressure off, because inherently, when we think about networking in a professional sense, we think about trying to create or even force these relationships to happen in order for us to benefit in some way, in order for us to get a job, as an example. And in actuality, what we're not doing is transactional. What we're actually doing is transformational. And I really want you to think about the long-standing relationships that you have in your life were never done with a quid pro quo kind of an attitude where, okay, you do something for me, I'll do something for you. And instead, what we actually have is we've got friends, we have a community around us of people that we would gladly do things for just because of who they are. And when we're thinking about networking in this way, it's going to be way more effective, because what we're really trying to do is play the long game. We really want to create the community around us that we're going to benefit from in the long term. And so there's an old quote that you probably have heard of: you are the average of the 5 people closest to you. And really, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a larger community or a larger ecosystem around ourselves of amazing, awesome people who share our mission, who love the things that we love, and are really, really encouraged by, the work. And so when we're trying to reach out and start to build these relationships, it can be extremely intimidating. And I know that there's a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety. So I created a framework called CARE, and I wanted to just kind of walk you through it to hopefully make things a little bit easier. When you are doing more of these cold outreaches, when you're just trying to get a network going for yourself, there's a couple of principles that you really want to abide by. And it will make getting and receiving connections a little bit easier, whether we're talking about in the virtual space or we're talking about in the physical space. You happen to meet somebody at a conference, or you happen to find somebody really amazing online. Either way, what you want to do is first start out with the C, which is commonality. So commonality is the easiest thing to try to tap into. So if you're in the space, if you're finding individuals who are doing really, really amazing work, you already have something in common. You appreciate what they do. And so what you really want to do with commonality is first anchor into that space of shared connection. Whether you went to the same school, you are following a similar mission, or you are part of a greater organization that you share. By doing that, immediately somebody is going to recognize that. And people like people who are like themselves. So if you were to start out a conversation with, hey, we both went to Clemson University, automatically there's going to be a recognition, hey, you kind of get me, you understand where I come from. So first thing you want to do is try to create that element of commonality. What do you have in common that I can build off of? Then you want to dip into the A, which is altruism. Altruism is something that we tend to forget because, again, we've been taught networking is transactional. You're supposed to use it to get ahead. You're supposed to use these individuals to help you get a job. And there's not enough talk about, well, what can I actually do for them? How can I give before I get? You want to build trust really, really quick, give before you get. And altruism is always thinking about, how can I benefit this other person? What can I do to help, help them progress in their work? And so this can be done so many different number of ways. This could be providing them an article that they haven't seen that's relevant to their work. This could be sharing a post that they had put out on social media. This could be just sending them a card thanking them for their connection or for their time. There's so many different ways that you can actually dip into altruism and start giving before you get. And that will be a really, really quick way for someone to kind of assess, what is this person's motivations? Because I think that's always the worry, is that we're going to be perceived as a giver and not as a taker and not a giver. Then what we really want to make sure that we're also doing simultaneously in those first outreaches as we're building this network is we want to recognize, we want to have that recognition, the R. We want to really, really showcase through our research, right? We're digging into somebody's work history. We're looking at their profile. We're looking at their social media. We're understanding the impact of their work. And we want to recognize with a very detailed description, what it is that they do. I see that you are creating solutions for companies by helping them streamline processes. And you're doing a really, really amazing job at that. It's that validation piece makes people feel really, really good that what they do matters and that other people recognize that. So if you really want to start getting responses to your emails, getting responses to your LinkedIn messages, call them out for something that they're doing exceptionally well, that you actually had to research, that you had to do a little bit more than just the surface level. And then finally, the E is the empathy. Empathy is so incredibly important. And anytime that you are reaching out and trying to build a network for yourself, one of the most important things that you can do is recognize where they're at in time and space. So empathy can really look and feel so many different ways, but part of it is just the acknowledgement that someone is busy, that someone has a lot on their plate, that, hey, I can see what you're doing. I can see what you're sharing. And it looks like this is pretty heavy work. And so again, I'm recognizing that, and I'm showing an appreciation for what they do and their contributions. And then it's also being able to say that, I'm not expecting an immediate response. I'm not expecting this from you, but I would gladly take it. So empathy, you've got to really, really lean into. All of these things combined, when you put in the commonality, the altruism, the recognition, and the empathy, they're going to create this really rich view of your intentions coming in as someone who is looking for advice, who's looking for wisdom, who's looking to advance their career, not off the back of somebody, but in collaboration with somebody. So I really hope this was helpful. I hope this was kind of informative and kind of dispelled a little bit of the myths around, feeling as though networking is slimy and that it's only meant to better your situation and not somebody else's. If you're treating it in this way, and if you are building from a standpoint of trust, then really, really great things can happen, because what you do with that one relationship will spread into others. They'll be quick to recommend you into other circles that you want to be a part of longer term. So hope this was helpful. Take care, everyone. This is Brad with Meant to Be Career.